Hello, and welcome to this final. I gotta pause Instagram. Instagram every time. Oh, Chewy wants to be with me, I guess. Instagram, why do you do this to me? Okay. Now we should work. Hey, Ethan. Skylar, the guy who takes care of the house and stuff, might come by just in case you're like, why is there somebody here? Okay. If he rings the doorbell, will you help? Thank you. All right, a little behind the scenes there. Okay. I'm like, okay, as if I'm not already live. All right. Awesome. Hello, and welcome to this episode of welcome to this episode of From Follower to Leader. This is the final episode, and it is my birthday today. Wait, I don't think I'm live yet. Okay, let's start over. Cut. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this final episode of the series that I've done this month called From Follower to Leader. This episode is called Becoming an Influencer, and today we're going to talk about how to become an influencer, and we're going to be talking about what it takes. And coming up, we're going to have some new content that's going to be all about really putting the rubber where the rubber meets the road and helping people actually become more influential. So we're going to kick it off in just a minute. I need to have a sip of water here, and I don't think there's anybody on. Let me just go over. Cool. All right. Let's see. I'm going to bring up LinkedIn over here. Go to myself. Where is my live stream? There it is. All right. Hello, Scentsy Magazine. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about how to become an influencer. Obviously, we can't get that entire conversation done in 1 hour, and I'm going to be going more into this in June. So in June, I'm going to be teaching for 3 weeks, just like I taught for 3 weeks during May. I'm going to teach for 3 weeks. We're going to talk about how to become an influencer, what it takes, the types of tricks that you need. But today we're going to talk about what is an influencer? How do we define influence? And then what does it take to get started? Or if you're already started, what does it take to really get to the place where you can start to make money? And so that is what we are going to be getting to. So this month, we're talking about from follower to leader. Next month, we'll be talking about becoming an influencer. And the following month, we're going to be talking about how to monetize your influence. And then we're going to be doing a deeper dive on monetizing your influence. And that's what I'm going to be teaching a more in-depth class on coming up in August. So today's episode is all about becoming an influencer and what it takes to become an influencer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this over here really quick. And just give me 1 second. I really want to break you out right here. And then I need to make you over here so I can see. Sorry, I got to talk to myself. You know, it's a thing. There we go. Oh, maybe I should just put it over here. I guess I will. Sorry, you got to talk to yourself every once in a while here. Sour Diesel, Josh, Rachel, hello, welcome. So glad you guys are here. It's lovely to be with you guys. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to become an influencer. We're going to define, influence. We're going to understand influence. And then we're going to talk about the core strategies to becoming an influencer. We're going to talk about committing and planning. We're going to talk about acting like you already are one. We're going to talk about defining your pillars and using tools and experts and knowing when you need a coach. And then we're going to talk about developing a media kit. So that is going to be our topics for today. So let's get started. Okay. A quick sip of water. What is an influencer? An influencer is someone whose audience trusts them for recommendations and advice. And that doesn't mean that you have to have a huge audience. So the chances are, if you're already a content creator, you very well may already be someone, even if you have, under 1,000 followers, you may already be someone that people look to for recommendations and advice, which means you already are an influencer. You're just an influencer to a smaller scale of people than people think about the word influencer, right? Because everybody thinks about an influencer having like a huge following. But influencer means that you have the capability of calling your audience to action, whether that's an online audience or an offline audience. You could be an influencer in your mom friend group. That's an offline thing, but if you buy the stroller, everybody else buys the same stroller. Now that means you're an influencer. So just, let's demystify this word influencer and make it mean that you have to have a certain number of followers. And if you don't have that number of followers, that you're not an influencer. Because if you are someone that people already trust and come to for recommendations around products, services, advice, then you already are an influencer. So that part, okay? And now next up, we're going to just define influence really quick, because influencer and influence are two different things. Influence, to me, the way I measure someone's influence is the ability they have to call their audience to action. So let's say, as you guys may have noticed, I've recently crossed the threshold of 19,000 followers on Instagram. And, if I can't get a certain percentage of my followership to participate in something, for example, this 10K a day challenge, that steps a day challenge that I'm working on, my influence should show that like I can get people to pay attention to something like that and go along with something that I'm doing and participate in something that I'm doing, just the same way as I can influence them to buy a product that I believe in that I'm also using. So that is how I define influence. It's your ability to call your audience to action. And that action could be anything, could be buy, could be follow, could be watch, could be like, comment, share. There's many, many calls to action, right? Okay. So now we're done with the definitions and we're going to get into what do you need to do in order to become an influencer. And obviously, take all of this with a grain of salt, you guys, because this is really, really hard work. So I don't want to make it seem like in 1 hour, I could actually tell you guys like some sort of secrets to becoming an influencer, because the very first thing that I'm going to tell you is to commit. And committing looks like knowing that this is not anything that's going to happen quickly. You are going to need to work at this every single day for years in order to become an influencer, right? All the way to making real money, right? As an influencer. So if you want to be an influencer, you have to commit today, and you have to not see any horizon for when you're going to be done. You can't be like, well, I'm going to do this for 1 year and see how it goes. No. If you want to be an influencer, work with brands and tell stories, this is something that becomes a part of your lifestyle, and you need to do it today. Okay, so what does that look like? That looks like committing. Commit, you're like, it feels weird. It feels very strange to say, I want to be an influencer. There's a lot of negativity around the word, and there's a lot of people who hate influencers. But I think that this is the way of the future. People listen to other people when they decide on what they're going to buy. If they see something like, I mean, unfortunately for me, I can be very influenced easily, and maybe fortunately for me, because I follow people who influence me and I like them, and I always love the products that they recommend to me. So, it's like I do it. I have people who influence me, and you have people who influence you, and that means that's everything from the friends in your life to the people who you follow online. So if you want to become an influencer, and the job of influencer is helping brands tell their stories to followers in your community and share their products and services in ways that gets your audience excited about it and potentially to buy. So if you want to become an influencer, your job is really sales. It's really sales and advertising. And so if you think that you would like that job, then start doing it. And that's what we're going to talk about. So number one is commit. Number two is act like you already are one. So this is going to feel really weird, okay? And if you already have like a following, and let me just tell you, if your friends from high school are in your following, if your family is in your following, as soon as you start acting like you already are one and committing, people are going to be like, who the fuck does she think she is? Okay. And it is going to feel really weird, but you have to not care. Okay. Because are those people paying your rent? No. Are those people paying your mortgage? No. Are those people putting food on your dinner table? No. So act like you already are one. If you don't want to deal with that, start a new handle. Yeah, it does take a long time to build, but if you don't want to have people who follow you who are already like your friends and naysayers, and basically you moved your Facebook over here to Instagram, if you already have that and you don't want to be like show up like an influencer because you're afraid of those people judging you, start a new handle. Because one of the keys to becoming an influencer is acting like you already are one. And what does that look like? Acting like you are already an influencer looks like everything you buy, everything you love, sharing it as if they invited you to be a part of what they're doing. Okay. So every time you buy something on Amazon and you share it to your stories, put it in your Amazon store, um, tell people about it, tag the brand in your stories. I don't care if you have 400 followers. When you tag the brand in your stories, they now know you're a customer. Now in like a couple weeks, you're going to tag them again. They're going to see that. They're going to like, right? And now they're like, oh, wow, she's a customer. Let me keep my eye on her. Maybe the brand follows you back. So act like you already are one, even if you're not, right? So that is number two. I'm gonna get a little bit deeper into what that looks like. So what does acting like an influencer look like? It means bring a tripod with you wherever you go. Okay. I have two tripods. One is black and I use that one at home, and the other one is white and I use that one when I go out because it's cute because it's white. And so you take the tripod around with you. I have one in my Amazon store that I can show you guys, and you use it, and you have to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable, like, because nobody really, it feels really weird when you're making content in front of other people, but only making content in your house is not what influencers do, right? Most influencers go out and about and they make content in the wild. So if you want to make content out and about, take a tripod. If you don't want to take a tripod, you could get, I mean, I don't have it in here. You know, I got this little mini drone. Oh my God, it's the best thing, but it calls a lot of attention to you because it's very noisy. It's like has these fans, obviously, because how can it fly without these like propellers? So it propels itself and it's like, right? But I love this thing because it makes really great content, and I don't have to have anybody with me, and I don't have to have a tripod. It's like sometimes you don't want to carry a tripod, but that's one of my tips for you. Another tip is start playing the trends. So we've talked about this in probably every single one of the episodes of From Follower to Leader. The trends are so important. So on Instagram, start making 1 or 2 reels a week that are using trending music. How do you know what is trending music? Whatever is being served up to you is trending music. So if you are watching reels and now you see a bunch of reels coming through, all those reels are pretty much going to be trending music. So pick one that you like and do a reel to it, play the trends, go, like I said last week, go click into that audio, go find the most, like the ones that are doing the best and meme that. And then try that. You got to try it. And even if, I don't care if you get 400 views, if you get 25 views, just start doing it, because eventually you're going to get more views. If, like we said, commit, right? And act like you already are one. If you don't start posting like you already are an influencer, then when are you going to become one? Like, who's going to grant you the permission to act like one? Is it going to be when you get to 5,000 followers? Is it going to be when you get to 10,000 followers? Who cares? Like, there are brands out there that want to work with people who have smaller followings, as long as your following is extremely engaged. So go out into the world and make really good, fun content and have an enjoyable time doing it. Like, to me, it's like, I feel sometimes I go out on a walk or do something by myself, and I definitely am just there for myself. Sometimes I plan to make content as a part of my walk. Sometimes I go out specifically to make content, which is super fun. I like to get dressed up. Maybe I'll go somewhere. Maybe I'll shoot myself. Like, maybe I'll, whatever. Maybe my husband will. It will be so fun, right? I make it like a dress up party. So, and you might feel really dumb doing this. I just want to keep reminding you that in the beginning, you feel really dumb. I feel dumb all the time. You're like, who's watching? Nobody cares. And you know what? In the beginning, nobody is watching and nobody cares. But if you keep going and you keep sharing yourself and you keep putting yourself out there, your people will find you and people will start caring. And it's the best. It's really a great feeling to have a community of people who are like-minded, who are there to share what you're doing, and you get to share what they're doing, and it's really community building. Okay. Oh, I thought it was pouring rain, but it is not. Okay, great. Okay. So we've got number 1, commit. Commit means say, I want to be an influencer. Look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, I want to be an influencer. Number 2, Act like you already are one, even though that's going to be super uncomfortable. Number 3, define your pillars. There's a lot of people who are talking about niche. And a niche, the way, like, I think this was like a couple of years ago that everybody was like, niche down, whatever. Be 100% yourself, but don't be like everybody. Just decide what are the things you care about to talk about. An old colleague of mine used to say, what are you willing to talk about on social media at 11 o'clock at night when you've come home from, a whole long day of whatever? Like, what are you interested in having conversations around? And then start talking about those things. So my pillars, for example, are health and wellness, right? And it's really like cannabis as a wellness supplement. It's social media tips and helping content creators. And it's my growing and like basically my home. So my pillars are really work, which is like from follower to leader. That's what we're doing right now. It's work, home, which I like call stay. So like home, which is all of the gardening, or if I ever decide to cook or things like that, that's home. And then I have play, which is like my outdoor stuff, as well as like just funny stuff and like my silly reels and all that stuff. And then I have B, which is more like becoming intentional, and my mindfulness stuff. And then lastly, I have go, which is like this like health and wellness thing. And so it's cannabis and wellness, right? So those are how I organize my pillars. And then everything that I'm doing ladders up to one of those pillars. So for example, this one ladders up to work. And then we have the 10K a day steps challenge that we're working on. And that ladders up to my like health and wellness, right? And then we've got the grow show, and that ladders up to my home pillar. So like basically defining your pillars, figuring out what you want to talk about, and then just talking about the things that you want to talk about all the time. Don't try to talk about things that other people are talking about because you think that that's going to be good for you. No, only talk about the things that you want to talk about, and the algorithm will start to bring the right people to you and bring you to the right people. Okay. Was that helpful? I hope that was helpful. Let's take a quick break. Oh my gosh, Whitney's here. This has been a really good sesh. Thank you guys all who've joined for not like interrupting. I know that seems weird, but like sometimes when the comments come on, even though I want you guys to ask questions, I get distracted. So if you guys have any questions, now would be a freaking amazing time, because we've already talked about 1, 2, and 3, and now we're going to talk about 4 and 5. And it's so good that Whitney's here because I'm actually going to talk about you. And so I'm super glad that you're here. It's so nice if you can stay. All right, let me just if there's no questions, I'm just going to take a quick peek at my outline here just to make sure that I'm not missing anything before we get back to it. She's like, oh, you're going to talk about me? Maybe I will stay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we did, we talked about number 1, which is commit, right? I don't care how many followers you have. If you have under 500 followers, under 1,000 followers, commit. I want to be an influencer. Look yourself in the eye and tell the world, I want to be an influencer. And then start doing the work. The work is number 2. Act like you already are one. Now you're going to start showing up to the world like you're an influencer. And that is going to be so uncomfortable for you because there are going to be people in your network who are not going to like it. And so you're going to have to get over this hump of like all these other people saying like, who the hell does she think she is? Okay. And in your mind, you might have this track that's saying, who the hell do you think you are? And you're going to have to get over that. So act like you already are one and connect with as many content creators and influencers as you can, because they're also in the exact same boat. Number 3, define your pillars. We just finished talking about this, and defining your pillars looks like deciding the most important 3 to 5 things that you want to talk about and start talking about those things all the time. Different like themes. And then once you have your themes, talk about topics within those themes. We're here at number 4. And here's where we're ready to talk about Whitney. Use tools and experts. Okay. There comes a point in everybody's journey where you hit a wall and there are things that you want to do that you are just not yet capable of doing. And if you want to learn how to do things, like you have to make a decision. Do I want to learn how to do this, or am I going to outsource this? So if you're going to like decide that you're going to learn how to do it, you're going to need to invest in the tools to learn and probably someone to teach you, or at least something that's going to teach you, a course or time or whatever. So I guess you can learn something in a longer period of time by yourself, or hire somebody to help you learn it, and you can really cut that down. But using tools and experts is going to catapult you from A to R, let's just say, not from A to B, right? From A to R, let's just say. And so you're going to have to invest in tools. So like, for example, if you want to be an influencer and you don't have Canva or some other content creation tool, then it's time to invest. It's time to invest that, whatever it is for Canva, I don't even know, $12.99 a month to have Canva Pro, so that you don't have, their logos and things like that, and you have all the updated tools. If you want to become an influencer, you should make time to learn the trends on social media. You should also invest in courses and other things that you need in order to up level quickly. And then you need to decide, when is it enough? There's no way, that thing that you need to learn is way too far outside of your skill set. And it is going to take you off your game, because all the other things that you're great at, you're going to have to now put on hold while you're working on this, learning this thing that has like a very steep learning curve. And for me, for example, that thing is YouTube video editing. Okay. I can do Instagram. I've been spending so much time and energy working on Instagram that I feel very comfortable in like Instagram. But when it comes to creating YouTube, you're really creating like a longer form entertainment, and you're wanting somebody to spend time watching. And who wants to spend time watching something that is not good? No people. Otherwise, what is the point? Like, why make content if it's not good? So as some of you guys know, over last weekend, I spent about 10 hours working on a YouTube video, and I love the content. I love the storytelling that I'm doing. I love the work. I love this whole, this entire series. And all I was like so excited to get it into like a YouTube video. And like I spent 10 hours doing it. And when I watched it back, it sucked. The content quality was low, like the video quality was low right out of the gate. It had rendered too many times and it was just not in a good place. I was having to like zoom in on the content, and it wasn't good. It was not good. And I was like, I spent all this time and energy making this, and now I'm maxed out on my skills. And so at this point, it's time to hire somebody else and to outsource it, right? And so we've decided we're going to hire a Fiverr editor to make these content series for us. But it's 10 hours of my weekend that I cannot get back. And I was like, and I also put me in the absolute worst mood. So now let's talk about coaches. Okay, we have two coaches on here. We have Miss Feisty Fit, who is a very different type of coach than a mellow space. I have recently hired a mellow space, Whitney, to help me put a practice around my content creation. And she is helping me create my funnels and decide really what is my content strategy, how is it going to monetize for me. And she is helping me put together this 90-day plan that is then going to help me teach you guys what I know. Because I think a lot of, I know you guys all love me, happy birthday to me, but what you can often see is that I can bounce around from thing to thing, because it's mostly the reason why is that I don't like to do the same thing twice, but also I don't trust myself. So I'll just be like, oh, well, that wasn't working. Like, let's try to do another thing. But working with Whitney has helped me look at the long term of what I want and start to put the actions into place of the content that needs to be created in order to execute on this long-term goal, which is making some serious fucking money and teaching people how to do what I do, which is helping people work with brands and working with brands and teaching you how to become a stronger content creator and influencer. And along the way, I will be becoming a more effective content creator and influencer, right? And so I guess the answer to that the final thing is like, no, from this one is know when you need a coach. I realized like that I needed to invest in Whitney, because in order to go from A to R, I needed a coach to help me write the roadmap for that. And Miss Feisty Fit, Christina, is a wellness coach, and she is a coach who helps people be their true selves, 100% themselves, 100% of the time, and also get ahead. And so you're also a coach. And yes, asking for help is the greatest form of self-care and self-love. And paying for help is also the greatest self-care and self-love, because as simple as like having a house cleaner that comes to my house and cleans my house every other week, like that to me is the fucking self-care. So it's like investing in Whitney is also self-care, because now instead of worrying about how am I going to do all the stuff that I want to do and organize it and execute it and do all those things, because those are not easy for me. Those are flex skills for me. And even though I have Rudy, who's amazing, I still needed somebody like Whitney to come in and be like, okay, guys, this is the ship. We all know what the ship is. Now let's figure out, like, let's arrange all the things on the ship and let's get all the ship moving in the right direction. So it's been amazing. Today I had my third call with Whitney, and she's been doing such an incredible job. She's very intuitive, and she really understands like easily what I need, and is putting everything into like a workable plan for me and my team to be able to have extreme success. And so if you're going to be coming to, which Miss Feisty Fit is going to be coming to our retreat in October, you're going to be able to experience the amazingness that is Whitney, a mellow space, and we're going to learn how to do your funnels as well and make money here on social media. So everybody might, need a coach. Okay, so next up is number 5. And I know I'm so excited. It's going to be such a great time. And I'm so excited for the people that are coming and participating in this, because the storytelling around it is just going to be so epic. And then once we do that, everyone's going to want to participate and pay, which is what we want. I mean, we want people to feel like they're investing their money in the right place, and hopefully I know you guys will feel like you got so much from the retreat and the course, and then you'll tell everybody else how you got it, and, and like all this benefit. And hopefully, you'll be like, oh my God, I made $5,000 right after I went to the retreat with Lauren. It was so amazing. So, like that's how it works, right? You invest and then you make money. Like it's literally what investing is all about. Okay. So We're going to get to number 5, but first we're going to go through them all because I want this to be a nice piece of content with all 5. All right. Number 1, okay, becoming an influencer, what does it take? Number 1, commit. Even if you have a low number of followers, commit. Commit today that you want to be an influencer. It can feel uncomfortable that your job as an influencer is helping other people learn about products and services. And if that's uncomfortable for you, then that's not a job for you. If you feel like you are helping people when you tell them about the amazing products and services and things that you love, then you can become an influencer. Commit today. Number 2, act like you already are one. Act like you already are one. What that looks like is showing up, sharing the products that you love. When you go out, make content, tag the place that you went, sharing everything that you do and not being embarrassed about the people who are like, what's wrong with her? Why is she doing this? Okay, because that's going to happen in your life. Cancel those people out. Act like you already are one. Commit. This is your new job. This is your job. This is a fucking great job, okay? I want you guys to know if you can get good at this, your life is free. Your freedom, right? You have freedom. Okay, number 3, define your pillars. We talked about finding your pillars, 3 to 4 things, 5 things that you feel excited to talk about all the time. Okay. Number 4, use tools and experts and know when you need a coach. And number 5 is develop a media kit. This is super tactical. Everything else is like very much like an emotional thing, right? It's like know about yourself and lean in and all this stuff. So, but number 5 is develop a media kit. A media kit is going to be the storytelling tool that you use in order to share who you are and why you should be working with brands and why you should be paid to work with brands. And so in our upcoming content, we're going to be talking about how to create a media kit. We're going to be providing templates and some other things in order for you to start getting your mind right about creating a media kit, because I know it feels hard, but it's not hard. And you need to be able to tell a bigger story about yourself than just the numbers, right? Like Miss Feisty Fit just changed her entire page because she felt like she had a dead page. And she has both pages now, but like, so if you don't have a lot of followers, you have a bigger story to tell. You get a bigger like I don't know where I'm going with this. All right, whatever. You need a bigger, okay, yeah. In a media kit, sorry, I got thrown off. When you develop a media kit, you're going to tell people a deeper story about you. So for example, mine says, I'm a 51-year-old perimenopausal woman living in Colorado. I have 2 grown boys. I'm about to be an empty nester. I share, hi Woo. Oh my gosh, from the Queen. Thank you so much. And also I wanted to say welcome to whoever was new, who said they were new here. Cushy's pre-rolls. Welcome. I was kind of like on a content making roll, so I wasn't breaking to talk to everybody. So yeah, everybody follow each other. Everybody follow Woo. Everybody follow Miss Feisty Fit. Everybody follow a mellow space. A mellow space is helping me figure out how to, hire Christy is also here. Yay. You just joined just at ATW. Anyway, hi, love you. Thank you for saying happy birthday. And thanks for joining. I've actually almost been done. Yes, it's 1:52. I have been live for about like 40 minutes. Oh, ate lunch. Hi, I'm so glad you're eating lunch with me. Welcome. We were talking about how to become an influencer and really what it takes. And first, we define what is an influencer. An influencer is a person whose audience trusts them for recommendations and advice. Then we talked about what is influence. And I believe that influence is the number of people that you can call to action. So, how many people are watching? How many people are paying attention? Okay. And then we talked about the 5 things that I said you need to do in order to become an influencer. One is commit. You need to commit to it. You need to say, I want to be an influencer. This is a job that I want. This is something that I want to be when I grow up. And know that it's not going to happen overnight. It's something that's going to happen over time. And number 2, act like you already are one. There was like a meme going on around this for a while that was like me pretending that I have 300,000 followers. Do that. Who cares? And if people in your life come after you about it, they're not paying your mortgage, okay? They're not buying you a new house. They're not coming here to save you. You're the one. I am an influencer, and so it is. So I act as such. Yes, Whitney. 3, define your pillars. Your pillars are defined as the things that you really want to talk about. What lights you up? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What turns you on? Talk about those things. Those are your pillars. Figure out what you want to talk about every day as it relates to those pillars. Number 4, use tools and experts. Use tools. Don't try to do everything by yourself. Use experts. If you have to pay a little bit to get better content, use experts to help you make better content. Like if you're like Woo is an amazing content creator, but if you're not an amazing content creator, maybe hire some people to help you become a better content creator. Yes, we bought you a house. Yes, it did, my girl. And it's going to buy me one too, bitch. It is going to buy me one too, bitch. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And then last, within that last one, using tools and experts, know when you need a coach. If you want to buy a house, you might need to hire somebody to help you get from A to not B, A to R, okay, A to Z, so that you can actually get started getting there. And you might need to, that's going to accelerate you. So you need to know when you need want a coach. You need a coach. And then the last thing is develop a media kit. I know Woo has a beautiful media kit. She even has a whole beautiful website. Develop a media kit. And we're going to be talking a lot more about that in my next series, which is coming up in June, which is going to be called How to Become an Influencer. And I'm going to take this next week off, and then we're going to launch again with How to Become an Influencer, which is launching on June 12th. So on June 12th, we'll be launching How to Become an Influencer. And then in July, we'll be starting to talk about how to monetize your influence. And then in August, we're going to have a more detailed course about monetizing your influence. And in September, we're going to have a second cohort of that same detailed course where everybody's going to get one-on-one time with Auntie, learning how to develop a media kit, how to develop your list of brands that you want to work with, and really starting to pitch and how to tell your stories and all that. So it's going to be much more intensive time with me. Each one of these workshops is going to culminate with a retreat here in Colorado. We're going to be able to hang out with me and learn how to do all of this in a much more professional way. So yeah, it's coming in hot, baby. It's coming in hot. So stay tuned. And I'm extremely happy that you guys are all paying attention and here to see if this is right for you. Do you want to become an influencer? If so, you got to commit. If so, you've got to start, investing in yourself. And I'm here to help you. So I'm really excited to help you guys. And not only are we helping you from like this coaching standpoint, but if you already are an influencer, we can help you monetize. We have salespeople and we have tools to be able to do that. So this is there's really a point to all of this. This is what I do for a living is I help people monetize their influence, and I want to work with more people. So I'm going to teach you how to monetize your influence and hopefully work together with you to build your business. So I want to thank you guys all so much for joining. This has been an amazing session. If you are just joining, I see a few people are just joining, please feel free to go back backwards and watch this. I'm going to post it. I actually have grown over 1,000 followers in 2 weeks. And I'm going to keep growing. I know, because I'm working really hard on this every single day. And I am the real deal. And not only have I grown to 19,000 followers, but I also have the background in public relations, marketing, and influencer marketing. And so I put my money where my mouth is, and I'm really excited to teach all of you guys how you can do it and also learn from you, because I don't know everything at all, but I know a lot, and I'm excited to share it with all of you. So I will see you in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, June 14th. We're going to be talking about becoming an influencer, how to become an influencer. We're going to be going more in depth on all the things we talked about today. And you can join me in June for free. You can always be joining these for free. And then we're going to be going in deep, deep, deep with the people who really want to learn. And those are going to be courses that we'll be selling in the retreats and things like that. So love you guys. See you on June 12th for how to become an influencer, and then sharing more and more about how I can help you guys. All right, this is my joy. Thank you guys. This has been such an amazing birthday live. I'm actually going to go live later. I'm going to show you guys all my presents, but this was my business live, and I wanted to keep it business. And then later on, I'm going to smoke outside and share with you guys my presents and that I bought for myself. And just so that I can remind myself all the things that I bought, and I'll remember what how incredibly abundant I am. All right, guys, it's been great hanging out with you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you, and see you soon.